Hi, welcome to Studio SX here at South by Southwest 2010. I'm Chris M. Jr. from Goldmine Magazine and the music blog medleyville.us, and I'm here this afternoon with the man known as Hyperpotamus.
Hi.
Welcome back to Austin. I know you were here last year.
I was last year,
And
yeah.
a lot of things have happened since then. Let's take things back to the beginning of sorts. Starting in your mid-teens, you played drums and piano in various bands, but now you're known as Hyperpotamus.
Yeah.
And I guess the best way to describe you would be an a cappella solo artist who uses a few microphones and a loop pedal.
Yeah, that's it.
And in doing that, you layer your voice when you perform. And you describe that as an elastic, volcanic vocal extravaganza.
Yeah, that's one of the ways to put it, yeah.
Caught that in my research. Talk about the circumstances behind this musical transformation.
Well, basically, I'd been playing in bands for 10 years, 10, 15 years, always, usually drums. I played piano in 2 bands. And, I just had enough of the whole, routine of rehearsals and having to cope with other people and count on other people, and things didn't really work out in my last band, and we had a record deal which was not a good idea. So I just said, look, good riddance. I've had enough of this for the time being, and I really felt that it was time to do something on my own. So I just came up with this by chance. Actually, I didn't really think about doing all vocals. It just came to be the easiest thing I could do on my own. Everything fits in one suitcase. I can even store it in a plane, and it's been going well. So that's what I'm up to now.
In a pop context, though, most people, when they think of a cappella, they think of the doo-wop groups from the 50s, or maybe more contemporary would be Bobby McFerrin.
Yeah.
Your influences, though, are as diverse as Michael Jackson and Fugazi, and you also like classical music.
Yeah.
What have you taken from those myriad influences and put into your sound?
Well, it's a strange mix. I mean, as you say, I'm into Michael Jackson, Fugazi. I'm into African music, Cuban music, classical music. Anything that helps, express what I want to express is handy. Actually, the interesting thing is that the actual limitation of using just vocals, allows me to do even more than I'd be able to do if I just struck a guitar or a piano. It's funny that that my actually just sticking with vocals allows me to do anything I want. So that means that, or that implies that any musical resource that I want to use can be used, regardless of that being classical, jazz, pop, whatever.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is that there's no complex. I can do anything I want. Feel free to do what I want, and it usually works out.
When you first started performing as Hyperpotamus, one of your regular venues was the Madrid transit system. I would imagine you had some pretty good acoustics down there. Those doo-wop groups in the 50s used to talk about tile echo and that kind of formulating how they wanted to sound. Talk about how that experience not only shaped your sound, but also your stage presence.
It actually didn't shape my sound that much because the acoustics weren't so good.
Okay.
What it did really help is actually build that stage persona you're mentioning. The cool thing about playing on subways is that you're playing in front of people who really don't care about you. They're on their way to home or commuting or whatever, and it's really good training to just stand up in front of people and not really care about what they're thinking or if they're judging you or whatever. It's just you're up there and it's you who's had the balls to just do your thing, and I've had to cope with loads of stuff, because you're in a public space and you got to respect people, and so I've had people wanting me to sing Happy Birthday. I've had people calling me Justin Timberlake, or recommend I go to singing classes, and interestingly enough, I had 2 gigs offered, so that was the starting point for me. But it really did help me out to not really care about what people thought and just really do my thing regardless of people's opinions. So.
Okay. One of the really cool things about Hyperpotamus is that he's solo in every sense of the word. Not only as a performer, but he handles the management and tour booking aspects of his career, as well as the other non-creative areas. And I know a lot of acts do some of those things, but maybe not all. But talk about what the advantages and disadvantages are of handling everything yourself.
Well, advantages are basically that, you know, I have everything under control. I do what I want, the way I want, when I want, without having to ask anyone about it. Maybe except my girlfriend has to. Days.
Always got to check with the significant other on those
Absolutely,
things.
But you know, with bands, it's like having 4 girlfriends. You know, you have to. Everyone has to agree on everything, and decisions take longer to take place. And if I'm doing everything solo, well, you know, I'm doing my own thing the way I want to. Disadvantages, well, you know, I have to pay for my own trips. I wish someone would support me in that, and I spend more time actually emailing and looking up for gigs and getting in contact with people than actually composing and performing, more so than I'd like to. But I think all in all, it's there's a huge advantage in doing those things. Plus, you know, you get to learn how to do these things, and you realize, you know, that you actually can do it if you're well organized, and I think I am.
Like a lot of artists on the rise or new to the business, you have a day job in order to generate income for your music career, your solo career.
Yeah.
But your day job involves making music.
Yeah, absolutely.
So talk about what it is that you do. And
I make music for advertisements, for documentaries, and for film. So actually, the Hyperpotamus side and my day job side feed off of each other. So, you know, I've had jobs offered to me after a Hyperpotamus gig, and I've had gigs thanks to my job, you know. So, and of course, it's kind of a two-way thing that involves music. Hyperpotamus doesn't allow me to live off it. I might be able to survive off it, but you know, I'm not interested in eating sandwiches every day. So yeah, and actually the let's say the musical or the technical aspect of what I do in both my job and as Hyperpotamus, you know, it helps me on the way to be more musical, and you know, things I learned from my day job I apply to Hyperpotamus and vice versa.
That's good. I know a lot of artists who have that day job. It has nothing to do with music or where they want to be. It's just something to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So in order to have something, like you said, one feeds the other and helps.
Still, I mean, although they feed each other, you know, there's a clear division between what I do for, you know, advertisements. I mean, I've done terrible music because clients have asked me to do it, but I wouldn't do the same with Hyperpotamus, which is kind of my private thing. Yeah.
So you could say Hyperpotamus, you're Superman, but Clark Kent, that's the other thing. That's that day job you're talking about.
That's a good way of putting it, yeah.
But you're the same person. Let's talk about your recent and upcoming projects. Your first album came out around this time last year?
Yeah.
And the title of it again is?
Largo Bailón. Which means
I never would have gotten that out with my bad high school Spanish.
It's kind of it's not it's my own slang actually. I kind of made it up. It means long dancing dude, but it also it also implies, you know, these annotations on classical pieces where you say, I don't know, allegretto or you know, with calm. It's kind of, it's got that thing to it.
And are you doing an Austin City Limits taping while you're here?
I just did it.
You just
this
did
morning.
It. Okay.
Yeah.
How did it go, and when will it air?
I don't know when it will air. They're going to send me a link soon. But yeah, actually the funny thing about that is that I was offered this and didn't really realize how big this was until I mentioned it to everyone here. Everyone was just, what? You're playing the Austin City Limits stage? And I said, yeah, I don't know what it is. And I just went there this morning and I saw these pictures of people who'd played that stage. And you know, you had R.E.M., Neil Young, Johnny Cash. You know, I got nervous just after seeing the pictures and saying, wow, I'm you know, playing on the same stage as these guys. It went out pretty well. And as for future projects, well, I've been touring for the last year. After this release, I'm going to tour more in very strange places. I'm playing on a cruise on the Mediterranean Sea. I'm playing at the North by Northeast in Toronto. I'm doing an East Coast tour of Spain. Nothing, you know, really organized. It's me who's doing everything. So I just get gigs as I go along. And other future projects is just, you know, to compose more songs for a following album.
You've been watching Studio SX. That's Hyperpotamus. I'm Chris M. Jr. from Goldmine Magazine and Medleyville.us, and thanks for watching.
Thanks.